Welcome to the Common Patriot. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about everyday carry and doing some training that gets us out of our comfort zone. In the event that we would have to use our everyday carry gun to defend ourselves or our family, we don't know the type of situation that we're going to be in. We maybe get knocked down before we get our pistol out, so we might be on the ground. We could be even shooting from around concealment or cover, or we may be retreating to give ourselves a little bit more distance and time from an oncoming attack. All too many of us, myself included, are probably guilty of standing up straight, square to the target, and shooting for most of our practice sessions. Now that has its value if you're learning a new pistol, or maybe if you're new to pistol shooting, but once you've graduated to the next level, you want to introduce things into your training that are going to get you uncomfortable. That's what's going to make you increase your skill level and get you prepared for that situation if it, God forbid, ever arises. So the gun I'm going to be shooting today is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus. This is a brand new handgun this year. In fact, I have not even shot this handgun. I did the quick clean before bringing it out to the range, and I'm looking forward to shooting it here with you guys. I'm shooting 9mm Federal 115 grain full metal jackets. So let's put a premise on the drills that we're going to do today. So what we're going to focus on is taking our time, setting up and learning what we can. When you're starting to do these drills, do them slowly and learn as much as you can, because what you're going to find is that when you're moving or if you're kneeling or sitting, everything feels a little bit different in your hand. And so you're going to have to learn while you try these different positions. It's not the same as standing up straight and shooting square to the target. So we're going to start off right here with just a single target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like there's a threat. I'm going to start backing away slowly and shooting slowly. Speed can always come later, but we want to get our fundamentals down first. Stop, back, back, back. Now I went pretty slow on that because I wanted to focus on putting my feet back, watching my sights, and taking that shot while I was doing it. Ultimately, I hit the target every time, but that was very slow. That's okay, I'm just trying to get used to doing this type of a drill. Let's try a couple more. All right, I picked up the pace just a little bit there, and ultimately I had one miss at the end of my shot string. On the first shot string, you notice that I was saying back, back, get back. That is not necessarily necessary for a defensive situation, but what talking does is it lets people around you know that you are telling this person to stay away, get back, you're retreating. But also what talking does, if the situation warrants it, you're not trying to hide, it keeps you breathing, because what happens when we get stressed? We stop breathing. If you're talking, you're breathing, and that's one of the reasons that I like to train some of the time with talking, so it keeps me breathing and going through my processes. Now I just want to do that. I'm going to sidestep I'm moving towards cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pretend, again, there's a threat there, and I'm going to move back and around this table pretending that that is cover. Back, back! Now I did have a couple misses there, but you'll notice that when I was moving backwards, that was what I just did. But then when I did the sidestep to get around behind cover, then that's when my form started to fall apart. Now we did a couple drills. Now we're going to introduce another threat into it. So I'm just going to turn around, engage the threat, and then look for another threat and engage that one as well. A little bit sloppy. I noticed that I rushed, did not get the grip on my hand when I turned around like I should. Let's slow it down a little bit. There we go. Those are good center mass shots. I needed to slow it down to make sure I was getting my form, my technique right, instead of rushing and basically wasting ammunition. Now for this drill, I'm just going to practice sidestepping. I'm going to engage each target as I sidestep, and then I'm going to sidestep back. All I was doing there is working on my side step as well as bringing the pistol in, presenting it to the target. Bring pistol in, presenting it to the target. So these targets are fairly close, 10 to 15 yards. Let's work on extending that out because we never know what distance we're going to shoot. So I got one at about 20 yards out there. I'm just going to turn and take my time, make one aim shot. So far we've been standing or moving. Let's get into some different positions such as kneeling or shooting around cover. One of the questions I get pretty frequently is what kind of eyes and ears do I use? These are ESS roll bars, and I have sound gear, hearing protection, electronic hearing protection in my ears. Always wear your eyes and ears on the range. So now we're going to shoot around an obstacle. I'm going to use my trusty bench right here as my cover or concealment that I'm shooting around. There we go. Try a little bit of offhand and definitely need a little bit of work on the offhanded side, especially from a kneeling position. If I'm just standing up, it's not too bad. I can switch right to left. Obviously I shoot better with my right hand, but down here in a kneeling position, it's definitely more difficult. It's time to go to the ground. I'm going to simulate like I was knocked down and then drew my pistol. I'm not going to go through the action of it. I'm just going to lay down and then take shots. Obviously remember, anytime you're doing things like this, you have to pay attention to where your extremities are. In this one that I'm going to do right now, watch where your toes are. Just got knocked down. So there's a little shooting from the ground. Again, that's different than even kneeling or, obviously standing and moving. As of now, we've shot from some different positions, but there's one part that we haven't addressed, and that's I'm not scared. I'm not breathing very hard. In a real life scenario, your heart rate's going to elevate and you are going to experience stress and adrenaline. And so introducing some of that into your training as well. We want to think about all those things, but how can we induce some stress? I'm out here by myself. I don't have anybody that can say yell at me or try and disorientate me in any way. But what I can do is I can elevate my heart rate by either doing some jumping jacks, maybe running 100 yards back, picking up my pistol, and then engaging a target. The next level of training after this, once we feel good and confident with what we're doing here in a slow, methodical way, is to do it actually from the holster. As I'm just going to get my heart rate up, I'm going to jog a little bit, run back, and try and engage targets. Let's do all 4 targets and get a hit on each. All right? Ooh, the far one took me a little bit right there. I only went for about a 60-yard run, but ultimately, as I try and talk, I'm already trying to catch my breath, but it definitely gets your heart rate up and makes hitting targets more difficult. So it's good training. Lastly, let's work on drawing from concealment. Now with all of these drills, speed is not necessary. In fact, it's probably prohibitive to you learning as much as you can. As you get proficient, you can increase the speed, but especially drawing from concealment, this is where an area that you run the risk of most likely getting hurt in some type of a drill like this, either unholstering or holstering. Obviously, remember the fundamentals of gun safety. So let's get to drawing and moving from concealment. I'm having a great day. Stop, get back, get back, get back. If you get out, do some training, get uncomfortable, have some fun on the range, and make yourself the best defensive shooter that you possibly can. Appreciate you watching the channel. If you're not already a Common Patriot subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. And remember, you're a Common Patriot, so be bold, be strong, don't ever give up. We'll see you next time.